The year is 2025. The world watches, waits, and worries. An unsettling feeling hangs heavy in the air, a premonition of something momentous, something terrifying, approaching. Could it be, as some believe, the nearing footsteps of the returning king? The second coming of Jesus Christ, a promise whispered for millennia, now resonates with a new and urgent intensity. For centuries, believers and skeptics alike have debated the meaning of the book of Revelation, its cryptic verses a source of both fascination and fear. Is it merely an allegory? A symbolic tale of good versus evil? Or does it hold a chillingly accurate blueprint of the end times, a divine warning etched in stone? Today, as shadows lengthen across a world teetering on the brink, these questions take on a terrifying urgency. The signs are undeniable. The very fabric of our world seems to be unraveling before our eyes. Wars and rumors of wars, famines and earthquakes, plagues and pestilence. These are not just biblical verses, but the headlines that scream at us from our screens. Can this be mere coincidence? Or is it the rumble of the divine machinery, the inexorable gears of prophecy grinding towards their inevitable conclusion? The world holds its breath. The time for debate is over. The time for decision is now. The book of Revelation, the last book of the Bible, stands as a beacon, a lighthouse warning of impending storms. Its author, the Apostle John, banished to the barren island of Patmos, was given a glimpse into the future vision of the end of days. He wrote of a time of unprecedented upheaval, a time of tribulation unlike any the world has ever known. John speaks of 4 horsemen, harbingers of chaos and destruction. The earth. He describes a world ravaged by war, racked by famine, and decimated by disease. He warns of a mark of the beast, a symbol of allegiance to a coming Antichrist, without which no one can. These are not mere stories, but divinely inspired warnings, glimpses into a terrifying future that awaits those who reject God's offer of salvation. The apostle paints a vivid picture of a world consumed by darkness, a world, and God's wrath is unleashed in all its fury. But through the darkness, a glimmer of hope shines through. John speaks of a final, glorious victory, a time when good will and Jesus Christ will return to claim his rightful throne. These prophecies, once dismissed as the ramblings of a madman, now resonate with a chilling familiarity. The world, it seems, is mirroring the very events John predicted 2000. Look around! Open your eyes! The world is ablaze with the fire of conflict. Ancient tensions flare, old wounds reopen, and nations rise against nations. The Middle East, a powder keg of religious and political volatility, teeters on the brink of all-out war, its skies darkened by the smoke of bombs and the stench of death. But it's not just the Middle East. From the bustling cities of the West to the remote villages of the East, unrest and instability are the order of the day. Political systems crumble, economies collapse, and social unrest simmers beneath the surface, threatening to erupt at any moment. Is this chaos merely the product of human folly, or is there a darker force at work, orchestrating these events to fulfill a divine timetable? The earth itself seems to be groaning in agony, racked by natural disasters of unprecedented scale and ferocity. Earthquakes shake the very foundations of our cities, tsunamis crash against our shores, and hurricanes leave trails of devastation in their wake. The climate is changing, the seasons are shifting, and the very elements seem to be rebelling against mankind's hubris. These are not isolated incidents, but part of a larger pattern, a tapestry of destruction woven from the threads of prophecy. Listen! Can you hear the thunder of hooves pounding across the ravaged landscape? The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are no longer confined to the pages of Revelation. They ride among us, their spectral steeds leaving a trail of misery and despair in their wake. The first horseman, riding a white horse, symbolizes conquest and war. His bow is drawn, his arrows aimed at the heart of civilization. We see his handiwork in the rise of aggressive nationalism, in the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, in the ever-present threat of terrorism that hangs over our heads like a sword of Damocles. The second horseman, astride a fiery red steed, represents war and bloodshed. His sword drips with the blood of innocents, a grim testament to the brutality that man is capable of inflicting upon his fellow man. We see his handiwork in the ceaseless conflicts that rage across the globe, in the senseless violence that plagues our streets, in the refugee crises that shame our collective conscience. The third horseman, mounted on a black horse, embodies famine and economic collapse. His scales are imbalanced, a stark reminder of the growing gap between rich and poor, the haves and the have-nots. We see his handiwork in the rising cost of living, in the food shortages that plague developing nations, in the economic uncertainty that grips the world. The fourth horseman, riding a pale horse, personifies death and pestilence. His touch brings sickness and suffering. His breath carries the stench of decay. We see his handiwork in the emergence of new and deadly diseases, in the resurgence of ancient plagues thought to be eradicated, in the growing resistance to antibiotics that threatens to plunge us back into a dark age of medicine. The four horsemen ride, their presence a stark reminder that the day of judgment draws near. Are you prepared?